𝗺𝗲𝗀𝗂𝗀𝗀. Thank you.
Thank you, 𝗵𝗲𝗀𝗀. I must first appreciate your response, which is, my belief, at short notice. And as 𝗺𝗲𝗀 said, it follows a number of inquiries and expressions of interest that came from the immediate fraternity about our plans for the season ahead, and even some engagement around accountability for our performance last season. So we're very eager to have that engagement, and here we are. We do hope that after less than 1 hour of engagement, you'll leave here satisfied that we've shared you our plans. And I think it's also important that I convey publicly, as I have done privately, to the chairman of 𝗺𝗲𝗺𝗀𝗺𝗀𝗀 and the chairman of the PSL, Dr. 𝗺𝗲𝗺𝗀𝗀𝗀, and I said, it is with a heavy heart that we also share and express our condolences to 𝗺𝗲𝗺𝗺𝗀𝗀𝗀, to the family of 𝗺𝗺𝗻𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃, and to the fraternity of soccer as a whole, about the loss of a person that we consider an icon in terms of South African soccer. And AmaZulu feels the loss of 𝗺𝗲𝗺𝗺𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗃 is also our loss. So we do indeed convey our condolences to the 𝗻𝗃𝗃𝗃 family. We have prepared a few slides which you'll allow me to go through without necessarily reading them verbatim. Our involvement as the Zungu family in AmaZulu Football Club goes back to October 2020. We've completed 4 seasons. And we are here to stay. We're here for the long haul. Our investment in AmaZulu was never a short-term undertaking. It was not an undertaking born out of just love for soccer, but it was an investment born out of our strong affinity towards the brand, because we know what it means to the people of KwaZulu-Natal, to the nation of AmaZulu specifically, and to people who grew up supporting this wonderful brand, who know that we are the oldest team in the DStv Premier Soccer League, and therefore our association with this brand goes a long way. And during the past 4 years, we've achieved quite a lot as a team. We've had many highs, and similarly we've had quite a number of disappointing experiences as a team. And we take stock, and in some cases we take full responsibility for the mistakes made, and in other cases we observe how we've been let down by factors that we cannot control. I don't have to repeat that. Everyone knows what has happened at times. Some of the achievements, notable achievements, is that in the past 4 years we have played in the MTN 8 final, something that last happened almost 50 years ago. Okay? And we played in the CAF Champions League for the first time ever since the team was established. AmaZulu played competitively outside of South Africa, not in friendly matches, as a result of the accomplishments we had in our first season. We've played in the 𝗀𝗃𝗃 Cup semi-finals. We've played in the Nedbank Cup quarterfinals, all in the last 4 seasons. Anyone who is a scholar of Amazulu Football Club and has tracked our performance over the decades will know that these past 4 seasons have been special seasons. Are we entirely happy? Of course not. Why? Because we've got greater and more loftier ambitions. And so something ought to be done about that. And over the years, it's not just been the president and his family who have contributed to this team. There have been many great people in the team. I think we employ some of the most committed people in administration. I know the sacrifices they make. We employ some of the great people in the technical side. Sometimes I feel they're overstretched. So as we reflect on some of our accomplishments, it's important that we also pay tribute to them and give thanks to those individuals for their contribution. Who will forget the contribution that 𝗵𝗍 McCarthy played in this team? Who will forget the contribution that Brandon Trutten played in this team? People forget times that when I brought Brandon Trutten, it wasn't the time that I was in doubt about our capacity to qualify for the top 8. And also I was looking at the performance of the team in the season up to that time. And we obviously failed to make it to the knockout stages of the CAF Champions League. And I needed assurances that we will give it our best shot to qualify for the MTN 8. And when we brought Brandon Trutten, he improved the performance of the team. And we just made it into top 8. We finished number 7. And the fact that we qualified to play in the MTN 8 final was as a result of us qualifying, making it into top 8. So his intervention was very remarkable, and we thank him for that. Under Dlamini, we would not have bought into the team if Ayanda, during the time that the team was playing in the bubble, didn't put as much effort as it did. And obviously when we came on board, we said, Ayanda, stay put, coach the team, these boys understand you, let's see how it goes. After about 6 or 7 games, he said, Mongameli, Ayanda. And we said, no, we'd like to keep you in the team, but step back from the hot seat. And his contribution has been immense. And he's someone that is still considered by us at Amazulu as part of the family. He may be outside of our structures, but we consider him as really part of the family. I said to him, when we celebrate 100 years, there's no reason why you, Ayanda Dlamini, should not be in the team. So he's coaching in lower ranks soccer, but he's acquired knowledge, and who knows, it's up to him, of course. Romain Falls, that we called 𝗱𝗱𝗿𝗀𝗀. He introduced a style of soccer that at the time was not appreciated at times. But there's something I saw. I know I was crucified for having so much faith in him. I still thought he was a great soul. He was young, but his knowledge and of soccer, sense of accountability, and technical prowess was quite remarkable. And of course, we have a technical team that is in place now. that continue to do good work, and for which I'm very proud. On the administration side, we also acknowledge the contributions of people like 𝗬𝗱𝗻𝗍𝗻, who became an institution at Amazulu. He had been here for a very long time. He was our team manager at Amazulu for a long time, and he played a huge role that we deeply appreciate. And so was my friend, childhood friend, and an astute professional, 𝗬𝗱𝗍𝗶𝗹𝗶, who was general manager for at least 2 seasons that I was with that we have been involved with Amazulu. His contribution is deeply appreciated. And all these people have played a huge role in terms of us completing this minimum cycle of 4 years. Some of the achievements on those years, we know that in season 2020-21, we played for 6 matches without a draw and without a loss. So it was all wins. And we did say that at the time, no team had done that. It's only last year that Sundowns really did the wonders that it did. And I think the previous season as well, they had a streak of 6 or so games, which were all wins. So we believe that we actually made other teams to also look at the statistic of successive wins, and to look at that as part of the key performance measure. The only time that we began to drop points during that season was when we drew against Mamelodi Sundowns. We had Q3 as our season, so of that season as our quarter. We had someone like Benny McCarthy become coach of the month in succession, and Veni Mota becoming player of the month for May. We had Benny McCarthy becoming coach of the season for 2021 season. You know, I'm highlighting these things because when we begin to reset and raise the bar, we're not setting the bar unreasonably on matters which are unprecedented in the team. We have made these accomplishments. There's no reason why we cannot achieve them again. And we had said during that season, we want to be a top 4 team. We are a top 4 team. And we were saying that without much basis, was the team that had, we had inherited was by and large not changed. We introduced a couple of players like Memela, Mulenga, just to name a few. But in addition to people like Guned, Shoes, 𝗵𝗂𝗀𝗧𝗍𝗍, the backline remained largely unchanged. People like Abohanamu are people that we brought much later. We said we wanted a top 4 finish, and people laughed at us. We did not only accomplish the top 4 finish, we became number 2. And I believe we had at the time a squad less competitive than the squad we had last season. Less competitive than the squad we have assembled for this season. But we achieved it. So these are feats of accomplishments that we need to become very familiar with at Amazulu. And we remain committed to the goal of Amazulu becoming an entrenched top 4, top quartile team. And I'm not changing on that. And someone may say, look, President, maybe you took your foot off the pedal in the last 2 seasons because I had other commitments. This season, I'm going to be back in the trench myself. The accomplishments, I'll take credit for them. The failures, I'll also put them on my shoulder. A lot more will be expected of me to be in the front line. We now have the GMB, Pablo Franco Martin, who is our head coach, and we believe we have the right man for the job. If, for example, you look at last season, the first season in charge, we had 36 points at the end of the season. Of which, we could have added easily other 14 points if we had been officiated more justly. We are on record as saying that the way we had dealt with the terms was less than fair. If we had got maximum points, I think we would have easily been a top 4 team. And sometimes you win, it builds momentum. I'm just talking about points that should have come our way, not about additional points that would have come from momentum. But and it is for that reason that we said we have a right person for the job, and want him to continue leading the charges. It's the second season in the DStv Premier Soccer League, and we believe that he now has even better requirements to accomplish what we want him to accomplish. I want a top 4 finish this season, and in fact next season I want 𝗵𝗲𝗀𝗀 to go back to Africa to play ideally in the CAF Champions League. At West, in the Confederations Cup, there's talk that it might be scrapped, whether it's a rumor or it comes on official circles, I don't know. But for that reason, we cannot take the risk of qualifying for Confederations Cup only to find that it's defunct. We want to play in the CAF Champions League, and everyone knows exactly what needs to be done. And on that one, I will just take no. I will not take a no for an answer. I'm expecting all the players to be fit for purpose. I'm expecting the administration to be fit for purpose. I'm expecting the technical team to be fit for purpose. So we can analyze the last 3 seasons, and you'll see that if you look at the season of 2020-2021, we had an overall 1.8 points per game. Okay, for the entire season, we got 54 points out of 30, an average of 1.8 points per game. And last season, we improved on the previous season, but still just not good enough. We had 1.2 points per game, which is basically less than half of the points on offer. I'm a mathematician, I'm a scientist, and I look at things mathematically. If you're getting 1.2 out of 3, there's no way you can stand, on a mountain and say, I've done exceptional well. No ways, What even less than half of the points on offer. So we need to up our game. If you look at the issues that we'll raise as points of concern, We have not won more than 10 games per season in the last 3 seasons. Okay. We've not won more than 10 seasons, so 10 games per season in each of the last 3 seasons. We achieved less than 30% win percentage per season in the last 3 seasons. We have not scored more than 30 goals per season in the last 3 seasons. Last season, if you look at most of the stats, we're the top 2 teams. We're one of the top 2 teams in terms of creating chances for goals. We're unable to convert them. And the scope for us to bang in the goals is there because we create opportunities. We get into goal scoring positions that gets recorded as a goal scoring opportunity, but we don't convert those. We need to do something about that. In the last 2 seasons, we've considered more than 30 goals per season. We've drawn 41 times in the last 3 seasons. I'm not talking about cup games, by the way. I'm just focusing on the league games. If you look at the cup games, I think that's going to be a spoiler because we won 3-0 against Arrows. I believe we did well to make it to the quarterfinals and semifinals, but we're looking at the league games here, and we've lost 26 times in the league in the last 3 seasons. 26 times, average more than 8 losses per season. For a team that seeks to be consistently in the top quartile, these are stats that need improvement. Okay, and we can't just say, no, we have survived. People knew AmaZulu as a team that goes back to the NFD and close its way back or by status. And when I came on board, I said, I want to banish the name relegation out of our vocabulary. Don't even talk about relegation. Okay. Anyone who talks relegation has fired himself or herself out of this team. Let's talk top 4 and let's understand what is it that stands on the way of us accomplishing that feat. If you look at the players, I think everyone knows the players that we had. Veli Motwa, Olwethu Mzimela, Andile Mbanjwa, 𝗺𝗱𝗱𝗿𝗂, 𝗵𝗱𝗱𝗇mbela Abu-Bakr Mubara, 𝗺𝗵𝗱𝗻𝗋𝗄 Ngema, Tariq Phillips, Rowan Hyman, Mlodi Mbanjwa, 𝗵𝗱𝗱𝗿𝗀 Majola, Rian Hanamu, Ethan Brooks, Msindisi Ndlovu, Serge Junior Dion, Wade Yoster, Hendrik Eckstein, Mbongeni Gumede, Siyanda Hlangabeza, Tsepang Moremi, Wade Yoster, so I repeat that, Ben Motswari. These are players that we had at the end of the season. In addition, we had Chidi Kwem, George Malulega, Victor Litswalo, and Veluyega. The last 4 have since left the team. They left the team pretty much at the end of the season. Great players. Their contribution has been immense. All of them. Chidi, who will forget Kwem's 3 goals in Hammersdale. And Victor Litswalo, who will forget some of his great goals played against his former team in the Nedbank Cup, just to mention a few. I mean, the immense role of people like George in the middle of the park and 𝗻𝗲𝗀𝗀𝗀 in defense, afford me an opportunity to say, well done, gentlemen, and thank you so much for contributing to the growth of this brand. And we wish them success in their future endeavors. We think all of them have got many seasons of soccer in their shoes. And I expect to see all of them donning their jerseys in the DStv Premier Soccer League. We have had a couple of our players called up to the 𝗵𝗱𝗶𝗶𝗏, like 𝗵𝗺𝗵𝗍𝗀, all the way to Mzimela, the COSAFA, 2022, 2023, as well as 2024. 𝗵𝗻𝗻𝗇𝗏, Ethan Brooks, 𝗵𝗱𝗏𝗺𝗀𝗻𝗃 Moremi, 𝗺𝗃𝗃𝗍𝗍 in the qualifiers, just to mention a few of these players. We are highlighting them because we need to celebrate building blocks. We need to celebrate stepping stones. But I want more of my players to be called up to Bafana Bafana. I won't mention people like Hanamub in terms of Namibia, Augustine Mulenga in terms of Zambia, and others who are national team material of their respective countries. But these who play for Bafana Bafana, I want to see more of Amazulu players, not just called up, but also becoming starting lineup material for the Bafana Bafana. And it's up to them, as it is much, as it is up to us as a team to prepare them to be considered for greatness at that level. In closing, I just want to say there's been a couple of rumors about a whole lot of things, starting with players like Mobara and Skakane. I want to state categorically that they are our players, and they are core to our objectives as Amazulu going forward. They're not going anywhere. So the team is back from the camp. They couldn't travel with the team for a whole host of reasons. They're integrated into the team. The young Majola also could not travel with the team. And everyone will have probably seen him in a specific case working on crashes. His core to the team is a critical member, a young player, watching for the future. So the rumors about my players, I'm just going to lay them to rest. They are part of the team. There's been a rumor about the sponsorship of SPAR. SPAR has been a critical part of Amazulu for how many years? 4 decades. It's possibly the longest running sponsor of DStv Premier Soccer League team, or top flight team in the history of this country. The runway for our relationship with SPAR came to an end at the end of last season, and for that we owe SPAR a great deal of gratitude for having been associated with the team, and their contribution towards giving a stature to the team, and in particular their financial contribution went a long way towards helping this brand to grow. But like all great things, they also come to an end. And at Amazulu, we see it as a huge opportunity for us to do something different, and something that we consider better, And I want to say that when we next engage at the end of this month, we'll be revealing our sponsorship arrangement, which I'm sure you'll find very exciting. The same goes with the 𝗺𝗲𝗺𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀, who were our sleeve sponsor. There's a view around the sleeve sponsorships, but their tenure as well came to an end last season, and will not be replacing them. We have ideas, also great ideas, that we should be able to reveal at the end of the season. When we next meet at the end of this, so at the end of this month, when I said end of the season, I meant end of the month. When we meet at the end of July, we'll be revealing to you new signings, and hopefully we can do it in style. They'll be donning the jersey. We have great players that we've signed, and we have great players that we are concluding the signing. Some have traveled with the team to Gauteng for the camp. They're back, and the technical team is saying sharp, sharp. So we'll be revealing those end of the month. Like I said, we'll be revealing an exciting new sponsorship arrangement for the team, and we'll be revealing a new stripe or a new kit for the team as well. And last but not least, we have had great responses from our soccer stadium. We had deliberately said we want to use the base of 𝗵𝗲𝗶𝗶 as our home base, as a Muslim, and alternatively travel to 𝗺𝗲𝗺𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀 Stadium at 𝗺𝗲𝗺𝗀𝗀𝗀, and at that choice travel to Princess Makoko, 𝗺𝗲𝗺𝗀𝗀𝗀. And I must say we've had great responses from all our stadia, not just 𝗵𝗲𝗶𝗶𝗶, but also 𝗺𝗲𝗺𝗺𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀 Stadium, as well as Princess Makoko Stadium. It's important that we, based on our strategic objectives, see how we package our stadia, first choice and second choice. We'll be able to reveal that as well when we next meet, end of July. We'll be working on the on the logistics regarding that reveal. And it is my express wish that we travel to the zones in the Midlands for that occasion, where we can have better control of our environment and be able to entertain our friends in style. So please check for your email inbox, and hopefully the information will be coming to you fairly soon. With those few remarks, I want to acknowledge the presence of Pedro Dias, who is our director of football. Where is Matuba? I saw him outside. Okay. Yeah, Matuba's outside, but he's with the players doing medicals. And Pro 𝗺𝗲𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀, doing a fantastic job, and thank you for all of this, as well as Zama at the back, and the members of the comms. Brilliant, thank you very much. I would end my presentation at this level and invite questions. Thank you.